right, so today we are going to make little watercolor monsters using our primary colors. So our primary colors are blue, yellow, and red. I often think of Superman when I think of these primary colors. So we got blue, yellow, and red. So let's start with our materials that we need for today. So what you're gonna need is you're going to need a straw. You're going to need some watercolor. You're gonna need some paper. You're gonna need some paintbrushes and some water and probably a paper towel. And you're also going to need some white piece of paper and scissors, or you can do googly eyes. Now I do not have googly eyes, so I'm going to get creative and use my white piece of paper and my scissors to make little eyes from our creatures. So let's start with yellow, okay? So I'm gonna get a lot of water on my paintbrush and I'm gonna put my paint in that yellow. I'm gonna try and get a lot of the pigment on my paintbrush. Sometimes it helps to scratch these paints a little bit before to kind of dig the pigment up. So I got a good amount. I'm just gonna make a dot and I'm gonna squiggle it around. I'm gonna get a little bit more pigment and make a dot and squiggle it around. Then I'm gonna get my straw and I'm gonna blow the paint around. Oh, you can't see. Okay, now I'm going to do, I might come back to yellow, but I'm going to do another color. And I think I'm gonna do blue next. Let's do some blue. So my paint's already pretty wet, which is good. And that helps get all that pigment on the brush. I'm gonna put it right next to this yellow fellow and start with a dot. And I'm gonna make that dot very, very wet. And then from there, let's blow it around. It's mixing. So let's see, what color will yellow and blue make? It looks like green. Sorry. All right, next color I'm going to do is red. And maybe we'll get the red to mix a little bit too. Making our secondary colors. I'm gonna put mine right here because I want them to mix. Curious, what do primary colors remind you of? They remind me of Superman. What might they remind you of? Okay, and then I'm gonna come in and blow it. That one's going so far. Ew, that's my spit. It's a little gross. I'm gonna dab that off my paper. All right. And so what do we get when we have yellow and red mixed together? We get orange. And then when the red and blue are mixing, we get some purple. So let's make another compilation. I'm gonna add a couple more yellow dots, a couple more blue dots, and we're gonna blow them around, and then we'll add our eyes. So I got my yellow. So every time you're switching colors, you want to water your brush, dry your brush, water your brush. Maybe you might need to do it a couple more times depending on the color. So what happens, I'm kind of experimenting here. What's gonna happen if I do all the colors first? See, I still see the blue on my paintbrush. So I'm gonna wet it again and dry it till that blue's off. And red. So what happens when we put all the colors around first, and then we blow them? Okay, swallowing. Ooh, they're kind of mixing a little bit more. I kind of like it better when I blow them one at a time. But you can decide what you want to do, because this one looks really cool in purple. So maybe I'll just do two colors together. So what's going to happen if we do yellow, a yellow blob, with lots of water so that it blows around, and red blob right next to each other. What do you think that color is going to be? Let's find out. I don't want to mix. It looks like we're getting orange. All right, so let's do another one, another two colors. Let's try red, since I already have red on my brush. Let's do red and blue. Over here. Oops. And right there. See, I made a mistake, but I'm turning my mistake into another little monster. We're getting purple. All right, how about blue? And yellow. Oh, I started mixing them before. I really like that green. Look how cool, blue and yellow make green. Awesome, we'll keep going with your little blow creatures if you want to. Make as many as you want. We want to cover up that whole page, right? I'm gonna make some right here. And experiment with it, have fun with it. So something we learned about Kandinsky, is that he said that art begins with a dot, but he also thought about his art being like music, and he named a lot of his artworks after like compositions, which is a piece of music. So he named it like it was a piece of music. So he said, he talks about color being the instrument to play the music. And so that is a really interesting way to think about color, right? Like we usually don't think about color as music, we think about it as something we see with our eyes. But if you could hear these colors, what do you think they would sound like? That's an interesting question, huh? You looked at your piece of painting and could think about some music with it. What would you hear? That's yellow. Because these colors remind me of Superman, I might hear the Superman theme song. Or like action music. Maybe you might try mixing some colors again. I don't know. You have fun with it. It's your artwork. I could keep going for a long time. Ooh, I'm actually getting a little bit lightheaded, so maybe I couldn't keep going for a long time. That's happening to you. Take a break. That made a nice orange. There we go. Got my orange to work. I want to get that green again. So if I want to get that green again, I got to do blue. And do you know, to get the green, what did I do? I did yellow. Okay, so I'm going to be finished with my little monsters, and since I don't have googly eyes, you can go ahead and just glue your googly eyes onto there, or you can make some eyes with me. So if we're making eyes, we're gonna take a, set aside for a little bit, a marker or a pencil probably, and make little half circles. You can do them different shapes. You can do them wider. Kind of would be fun. You can do one kind of big one. You can make a monster with only one eye. And then we're going to cut them out. And put your eyes aside. So let's just cut out a bunch so that we can have a bunch to choose from. And when you glue this on, we want to glue our pencil marks and our marker marks. We want to glue those down so that you don't see them. And when you fold the paper and cut, you guys remember what we create? We did this a couple weeks ago. You create symmetry. And so it's going to be the same on either side. You know what else you could do too? You can cut all these out. But another trick is if you have a hole puncher, you can take your hole puncher this paper doesn't fit in my hole puncher. And punch the holes. I know there's a way to open this up. Then, here we go. Oh, I'm about to make. Look how many eyes I have here. All different colors. I'm gonna use those. I just thought of that. Okay, so you also need glue. I didn't say that earlier, but you will need glue. And I do not have stick glue, but I recommend using stick glue. But I'm going to use my liquid glue because I don't have stick glue. And you're just gonna glue your eyes on. So I kind of like some of my more organic shaped eyes too, so I might start with those. I'm gonna start with this big one. Let's see. This guy is gonna have one big eye right there. So we're looking at our shapes, and we're gonna start to see, so I just glued it there. We're gonna start to see our shapes as little monsters. And where would you put these little eyes for these little monsters? Or little creatures. I guess they don't have to be monsters. And you're using your imagination. Maybe one of your creatures has like 3 or 4 eyes. Like this guy, he's gonna have 1. 2, 3. 4 eyes. Oops. And then this one will only have 1 eye. So you'll glue your little eyes on. And then when we're finished and when your paper is dry, I'm gonna use my organic shaped eyes. So I kind of like the ones I cut better. And when you're done, I'm gonna do the rest of mine later. You'll take a black marker, and you want to wait for it to dry. And you'll add a little pupil. See, you could maybe put some eyelashes. Maybe draw a circle around it. Make it stand out a little bit more. You can make it look in a different direction sometimes, depending on where you put the pupil. So it looks like she's looking that way. You can make them look straight at you by putting the pupil in the middle. You know, make them all different. Play with it. See what you experiment with, and see how putting dots in different places makes things look a little different. So I love that idea of experimenting and playing with your art. Like, what's the difference if I do the circle around it and no circle? You decide which one you like better. So, boop, 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 boop. Or what happens when you add a different color, you know? Let's see if I put blue here. How would that change it? I can't really tell because it's a really dark blue. I don't know. All right, well, have fun finishing up your little creatures.